Why should I consider anger management or counseling? I just did what any normal person would do. I didn't take any drastic actions. A small number of people suffered, but they were the ones who caused it. My life was turned upside down by their actions, and they are now paying the price. Why should I? I'd like to share my experience of anger management. I'm Sam. I'm 35. I'm married with 3 kids. I adore my 2 boys and my daughter. Tom, my group counselor, asked me why the court made me come. I'm here today, Sam. Well, Tom, it's a long story. I said, well, Sam, we're all here for the next 3 hours, so take all the time you need. I'll start by telling you a bit about how I met my wife. I won't go into the nitty-gritty, but her name is Emily, and at one time I thought she was the most beautiful woman. I was at a stag party when it all started. We were celebrating my brother's wedding and hoping for a great night. We ended up with strippers and prostitutes. It was my younger brother's wedding after all. I told Emily everything because I didn't want anything to be held against me. The party was a blast. It started around 3. I'm not sure exactly what time it was, but it was around 10 p.m. The party lasted from 10 a.m. on Saturday to 7 p.m. on Sunday. The party only ended when the cops came to the room because of the noise. I had talked to Emily at least 12 times over the length of the party. My brother got married, and they left for their honeymoon. It had been about 3 months since the party and life was back to normal, or so I thought. I came home from work and went to the bathroom and took a long shower. I will be the first to admit it. I smelled like ass. I'm a fisherman by trade, but I love working on the docks. I think it is because the guys can be guys. You know, we hang out, talk, and work. I was just coming out of the shower and everything went black. It had to be a truck. But how in the hell did it get in my bathroom? I tried to get up, but for some reason I couldn't move. I looked around and everything was fuzzy. All I could make out were 2 figures in front of me as my eyes came into focus. My wife and her sister were standing in front of me. Emily, you want to cheat on me? What the hell is wrong with you? I tried to stand up after saying that I was duct taped to the chair. And by duct taped, I mean that it was wrapped at least 20 times around my ankles. I was unable to move an inch. Let me go right now, I said. I will after I get even with you. You bastard. What in the world was she talking about? I didn't do anything. My brother and I made sure we broke none of the rules that were set. They both left. I must have sat there for an hour before they came back. Emily strolled in, followed by 5 of the guys from the stag party. I looked up and told them to set me free. Adam had always been one of my oldest friends. I've known Adam for over 20 years. He was my best man at my wedding, and I named my son after him. His wife was the only woman in the world other than my wife that I truly trusted. Adam bent down and looked me straight in the eyes and said, Sam, you shouldn't have cheated on Emily. Before I could respond, Emily shoved a ball gag in my mouth. Cheat on Emily, Adam said. That idiot knew I had never cheated on Emily. They did it for 3 hours straight. When they finished, she went in the shower and left me alone with my 5X. Adam said, too bad we didn't tape it. I just sat there, not moving. One of the other guys removed the ball gag. I flexed my jaw and just looked at them. Adam walked up and said, she was damn beautiful. I always wanted to have her. I just couldn't pass up this chance. After this, we won't be friends again, but I just had to do it. I didn't say anything. I just looked at him and smiled. Adam said, Sam, let it go. If you don't, someone will get hurt. I'm not sure what he used to punch me in the face, but I woke up in the hospital a few hours later. I turned to see. Emily was sitting in the chair. I caught the nurse's attention, so it seemed like she'd fallen asleep. Could you please call the police for me? I asked the nurse. She was about to ask why when I showed her my wrists. She said she'd be right back. She came back about 5 minutes later and said they were on the... When the officers arrived, Emily had finally woken up. She asked what was going on, so I told her my name was Sam Wilson. About 7 hours ago, my wife had some men tie me down and carry out wild gangbang sessions in front of me for cheating on her. The only problem is that she's going to prove how much she really is a witch. I never cheated. I can give you the names of everyone there. I know for a fact that 2 of the guys are cops. If you aren't going to do your jobs, leave now. When I get out, I can take them to the state attorney's office. The officer said, just tell us. I told him everything that happened at the party and about the gang incident. Emily just sat there looking shocked. I told the officer that the party was recorded to avoid any problems for the husband. I also told him that the tape would show if any of the guys had slept with a prostitute. The officer went over to Emily and asked her to stand. "Ma'am, you have the right to remain silent." She was charged with assault and kidnapping. I gave them all the names of the guys who were at the gang party. I thought to myself, it's time to bring the "I'd been hurt," and now it was time to hurt everyone involved. As Emily was being let out, she looked back and told me, "This isn't over. You're lying. Sam, I'm going to make you pay." The officer told her that she was also being charged with making a threat against my person. I had a week to think about how to get revenge. I spent a long time in hospital and came up with a plan to get back at a lot of people. I had to be sure that I really wanted to get even, though. So I made a list. First, they put me in the hospital. Second, they lied on me and put me in the hospital. Third, they slept with my wife and put me in the hospital. Fourth, my wife is and helped them put me in the hospital. Thanks very much for the list. Aside from the fact that I'm in the hospital, they can have the witch. Even if it kills me, I'm going to get even. Maybe what I had in mind would work for me. The following week, I spent my days in the hospital making plans and strategizing. I left the hospital and went to the bank. I took out $600, and while I was there, the teller informed me that my wife had been trying to take out money. I was annoyed to find out that her name wasn't on any of my accounts. She came back with her lawyer, and was told that even with a lawyer, her name wasn't on any of the accounts. They were pretty annoyed. I went straight to my brother and asked if he knew a good lawyer. He was pretty mad at me and asked how I could have our friends arrested. As I turned to leave, he ran out. "Sam, what's going on?" I asked my brother for the next hour. I told him and his wife everything that had happened. They sat there looking shocked and speechless when I finished. His wife looked at me and said I was lying. My brother told her I never lie, and she told him he didn't know what he was talking about and to stop. He asked her what was wrong with her if she was on that witch's side. Then he told her to get out of there. "This is my brother," she said. She looked at him and got up and left. She went into their bedroom and got her purse and told him she was leaving. My brother looked her in the eye and told her to let him make something perfectly clear. "If you get involved in this and you aren't on my brother's side, then let me know. We can get this marriage annulled because you're either with us or you are not." She looked at him and walked out. We heard the car start up, then the door opened and she walked in, dropping her wedding ring on the floor. My brother said, "So be it." Then she turned and left. We both knew we needed to get a lawyer involved. We put my plan into motion, and by the end of the week, things would really hit the fan. Friday D. The day got off to a flying start at 9. My realtor put a "for sale" sign in my front yard just as Emily was leaving for work. Emily jumped out the car and asked what on earth the realtor was doing there. The realtor showed her the paperwork showing the house was for sale. Emily was shocked and said the owner couldn't do that. "It's his house," she said. At work, Emily's boss walked in with a young guy and said that he was looking for her. The guy asked if she was Emily Wilson. Emily said, "Yes, I'm Emily Wilson." He handed her a large brown envelope and said, "You've been served." Later that day, I received no less than 50 phone calls. 5 wives asked what the hell was I told everyone the whole story, leaving nothing out. I received no less than 20 death threats. I recorded each of them while they were ranting. I was laughing my ass off, which seemed to piss them off even more. What I'll never understand is when you screw some guy's wife and beat, why wouldn't you think he was going to get even? I mean, he was suing me for assault and theft. My attorney delivered 5 sets of civil lawsuits the following day. I was requesting $5 million each. Emily was sued by me for both body injuries and theft of personal goods. My brother and I basically kept going along the same path. He had a few run-ins with people he knew. On the day of the assault charges trial, I was dealing with insurance companies and other family members and acquaintances. My brother's wife wanted to discuss the day before the trial. As I was leaving work, Adam tried to grab me from behind a car. I pulled out I shot him in the groin by mistake. When the police arrived, he was screaming that I'd tried to kill him. I told the cops what happened. If they didn't believe me, they should look at the security camera tapes. Adam started looking around and saw that there were cameras all over the place. "Adam, you're such a dumbass, but don't worry. They might be able to reattach your testicles, but if they can't, we know who will be the witch in jail, a man with no. If you think that'll go down well in prison, you're wrong." I showed the officer my gun permit and the security tapes. The trial was a piece of cake. The stag party tape showed that I never cheated and that I called Emily every few hours. Adam and Emily decided to stand trial together. She just knew they'd walk away free and clear. The judge asked Emily who I told her I'd cheated on her, and she said Adam. Adam's lawyer said that was a lie, and that Emily was always interested in Adam and wanted to sleep with him. Emily sat on the stand with her mouth open. Her lawyer yelled objection and asked for a recess. Emily's lawyer came over to me and asked me to talk with him for a minute. Sam, I know you hate her right now, but can you just let her go down in flames? Her lawyer asked why I'd helped that fool woman. They tied me up and put me in the hospital, and you want me to help her? I could have died, so let her face the consequences, I said as I walked away. Emily asked if she could speak to me for a second. I apologize, Sam. I know I made a mistake. I was just furious. I never imagined that he would deceive me. Come on, Sam. You know I'm easily irritated. I know you still care about me. Sam, you adore me deep down. So please, Emily pleaded, swallow your pride and help me. You hurt me. I mean, you really hurt me. I'm going to go against my better judgment and ask the DA to take it easy on you, I said as I left to go chat with the DA. I smiled and walked over to the DA and bent down by his ear. Fry this witch, please. I looked over at them and gave them the thumbs up. I'll help her like she helped me while I was tied and beaten down. Now you want my help. Emily was sentenced to 5 years. Adam was sentenced to 20 years. The other guys learned about the length of the jail sentences. They all wanted to make deals. Adam's wife, Sharon, came up to me after he was sentenced. Sam, I know he hurt you and ruined your marriage, but did you have to do this to us? Sharon, I know you're hurting, but they tied me down. Your husband hit me so much that I had to spend a week in the hospital. They and Emily left me sitting there bleeding. I did what needed to be done. I wanted to kill. At least this way, you have something to look forward to. He'll get out someday and you guys can move on. But I lost my wife, my friends, and some family. So who is hurt more? I turned and walked away. You would think the story ends there, but it doesn't. I'm in anger management class because while Adam was in jail awaiting transport to prison, I was arrested for drunk driving while serving my 10 days. I kicked his ass as many times as I could. I bashed. I hit him in the face with a metal tray and kicked him in the groin 10 times. When I had to face the judge, he said he figured out what I had done. He gave me a $100 fine and time served. Over the next 4 trials, I managed to get even with everyone involved. 2 of them got jumped while engaged in a bar fight while the police were en route. Someone happened to have a taser gun, and they both took over one. The last 2 were beaten by 4 masked guys. I was in Texas visiting my cousin, so now I'm sitting here talking to you guys because the judge thinks I have anger issues. They all sat there for a minute, and then they started clapping. I couldn't figure out what was going on. Tom stood up and said, Sam, you need to learn to go with the flow and not seek revenge. He said I should learn to go with the flow and not seek revenge. Then he looked at me and shook my hand. He said, Sam, you don't have to worry about losing money in divorce. Adam and the others are in prison. What more could you ask for? I found out during the class that those bastards got off easy. One of the guys in the class caught his wife. One guy was caught cheating and shoved an axe handle up his partner's ass. Another one locked his wife's lover's genitals with vice grips. The doctor who scared me the most drugged his wife's lover and injected battery acid into his testicles. They all served at least 5 years and had to come to this class as part of their parole. The judge is trying to tell me something. My brother's wife is back home and is trying everything to get him to forgive her. Emily was her best friend, so I told him to at least try. I let him know that she had chosen our side because she could have told Emily what was planned and she didn't. I'm dating this wild redhead I met while at the prison. Emily, the final divorce papers have been signed. It seems that Sharon's divorce from Adam is now final, and she asked me out to discuss what Adam asked her to do. It seems that Adam has made a few new friends in prison and wants her to kill me so we can ask for a new trial. She told him about her plan for revenge. I promise you, Adam, that I will make it last. I'll make sure Sam pays. He'll look into my eyes and know how I feel about what happened. Adam was a very happy man, and Sharon was right. I was looking into her eyes and saw nothing but love. Emily writes to me every week, asking me to come and talk to her. She knows she was wrong, but she was so mad I've even been going to group to talk about her issues. I know how that feels. How am I feeling right now? Pretty damn good. I could come across as a bastard or callous, but this is my tale. I support standing up for oneself, even though I don't support harsh penalties like burning cheats alive. Neither is becoming a doormat. The solution is about striking a balance, finding the right balance and standing up for yourself when someone betrays you. What are your thoughts on this? Thanks for joining us in our stories where revenge is served hot. Please consider subscribing to our channel to ensure your next chef remains loyal. Tune in for the next one to get your revenge appetite fulfilled. If you're below 18, hold on, it's not for the faint-hearted. I'm feeling pretty good about this.